Welcome to the last day of the trigonometry unit. Today we're going to talk about reciprocal trig functions. These are memorizing. Since they are reciprocals, you can think of opposites. So see how this is cosecant? It's reciprocal sign. The C and the S changed. Secant, opposite of SC. And then cotangent, tangent has the word in there, so therefore it's the reciprocal of the cotangent. And so, if we know that sine is y over r, which we have memorized that so many times, then cosecant, which is the reciprocal trig function of sine, is r over y. And secant, remember S, opposite, so C is r over x. In cotangent, it was y over x, now it is x over y, granted that y cannot be 0. And so, nothing changes here. I hope you guys understand that. Nothing changes. All it is the same idea. So, we're going to look at the point 8, 6. Remember, we're looking at the bow tie aspect. In case you forgot what that is, these are how your triangles need to look. We know that the x value is 8, the y value is 6. We need to find what the r value is. In case you forgot how to do that, it's 8 squared plus 6 squared equals r squared. 64 plus 36, that's 100, equals r squared. Square root of that gives you r equals 10. And so how I like to do it, I always use sine theta, cosine theta, tan theta, and then I go right over to the other side, second column, and the reciprocal trig function of sine is cosecant theta. Cosine theta, the reciprocal trig function, is secant theta. And the reciprocal trig function of tangent is cotangent theta. Now, sine theta is y over r, so it's 6 over 10, or 3 over 5. Cosine, x over r, 8 over 10, or 4 over 5. And tangent theta is y over x, 6 over 8, or 3 over 4. All I'm going to do now that I have them written out in the correct order, or in the correct positions, I'm just going to flip them. 5 over 3, 5 over 4, and 4 over 3. Now, the one thing that we have not done yet is find the measure of angle theta to the nearest degree. Remember that this is theta. And so what I'm going to do is that you can use any of them since it's in this first quadrant. If it was in the second, third, or fourth, you would need to use it in whichever function is positive. So we're going to do a sine inverse of, sine inverse of 6 over 10 equals 36.9 degrees, but we're running to the nearest degree, so we're going to be at 37 degrees, meaning that's 37. And you're done. That's it. So, again, reciprocal trig functions, sine is cosecant, cosine is secant, tangent is cotangent. So right now you guys have 3 to go. Why don't you guys try to do double I, pause it, and I will come back with the correct answer. So pause it, do it, and when you unpause it, I'll have the correct answers. So you need to find r first. So we got r to be 2.5. What I did here is it's 1.5 for sine theta. It's 1.5 divided by 2.5. I put that in the calculator to give us 3/5. So you should have had negative 2 over 2.5 for cosine theta, which gives you negative 4/5. Tan theta, 1.5 over negative 2, which gives you negative 3 over 4. You flip all of them. So hopefully you got those. Notice that secant and cotangent are negative. We're in the second quadrant, so only sine is positive. And so therefore, when you find your measure of angle theta, it is going to be the sine inverse. Now, if you got 37, you're halfway there. You're not fully there yet, though. Remember that the angle theta is all the way here. And so again, 37 is our reference angle, which we love, but we need to do 180 minus 37 to give us 143. So that's really our measure of angle theta. Just make sure you did that. I wanted to wait to do that to make sure you guys understood that. So let's look at 3 really quick here. We're going to go -1, -3. Remember that the bow tie goes like this. And so this -1, this is -3. Remember that our value, we're going to get 1 squared plus 3 squared. You can get square root of 10. And so sine theta, cosine theta, tan theta, and then again cosecant theta, secant theta, cotan theta. And what is sine theta? -3 over square root of 10. Cosine, -1 over square root of 10. Tangent, -3 over -1, which again, remember we're in the third quadrant here. It's going to be positive. We have to write it as a positive. Okay? You cannot not write it as a positive. You can't write it as a negative over a negative. It has to be just 3. So once we get those, this is easier. Square root of 10 over -3. Square root of 10 over -1. And that's 1/3. Know that you can rewrite these as negative square root of 10 over 3. The negative just comes out in front. It doesn't matter where the negative is as long as it's negative. And then the final part, measure of angle theta equals tan inverse of y, 3 over 1, which we're going to get, if you put that in your calculator, tan inverse of 3 over 1 gives you 71.5, so 72 degrees. Now we know that's not what it actually is. This is the reference angle of 72 degrees. So we need to actually find it. Remember that we're looking at all the way around. So measure of angle theta really is 180 plus 72 to give us 252. Okay, we'll start with number 4 in class. So that is it. A fairly straightforward lesson. Reviewing what we did at the very beginning of the unit to find sine, cosine, and tangent. All we did was add in reciprocal trig functions. And with that, I will see you in class, and we'll start reviewing for the unit 2, the unit test. So, see you in class. Bye.